Good afternoon or good morning, everybody, whichever one you're in, or good evening. It's a happy cowboy day, and it'll be a happy cowboy week. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So, I have to say I'm a little surprised. I didn't see the Cowboys being 3-1 with Dak Prescott. So, a little surprising. Here again, I thought Cooper Rush looked pretty good. Had a couple bad throws. Luckily, there were penalties on the plays. But overall, he's again showed pretty good command of the offense, threw the deep ball well, and just in general he looked like a competent backup quarterback, you know, which brings up something. You know, you really want there to be just this major gap between your starting quarterback and your backup, especially if you're paying your starter, you know, 40+ mil. And I just don't see that big of a gap between these two guys. Look at it this way. Let's say, you know, you went and bought a Rolex. You spent that 10 or 15 grand on the Rolex. Okay, well, you know, you got a really fine watch. Does it keep time any better than that $200 Invicta? Probably not. Okay, and that's what you got with the Cowboys. Well, that's what you don't have with the Cowboys. You know, Dak's just not a Rolex. All right, he's more down there in the Invicta range, where his backup is. And who knows, maybe Cooper Rush is a better quarterback than we all think. And you know, if Dak doesn't come back and perform, I could certainly see the Cowboys making a change. I would. So, but that's a good win. Nice win. The defense has got to stop giving up so many rushing yards, but it was a good, nice win. The Redskins aren't a very good, or the Commanders aren't a very good football team. I knew I was going to do that. So I wanted to talk to y'all about, I was out on a e-bike ride Saturday. And I'm a member of an e-bike, or it's really a big EV group here in the DFW area. And there were only about 8 of us that showed up for the ride. And it was my first time out with the group since I joined. And what was it, 20-mile ride, 10 miles out, and we stopped at a restaurant, and then 10 miles back. I was really the only e-bike in the group. The others riders were on electric skateboards that went 30 plus, and electric unicycles, which did the same thing, went 30 plus. So I was in the back of the pack for the most part on the way there. I pedaled the bike in pedal assist 3 and 4. I was able to keep up. They didn't ride real fast. They rode about between 20 and 25, so I was able to keep up for the most part. So we get to the restaurant and we eat. I have a bacon cheeseburger, fries, and I had a beer from a Dallas beer called Freaky Deaky, just a 12-ounce beer. And so we eat and we're chatting it up and get done eating. And of course, I'm one of those guys that after I eat, I just want to go sit down in a chair and relax, maybe fall asleep. And I start thinking, I got to go get on that bike and I got to ride 10 miles. And it started to dawn on me that might not be such a great idea with a hamburger, fries, and a beer in my belly. And sure enough, when I got on that bike and started pedaling just that first little bit, that first little half mile, my belly said, "Hey buddy, this ain't gonna work." So I pushed it about another half mile, and I pushed it about another half mile pedaling. And I'm starting to fall behind. So I realized you gotta change your strategy. It's dark. You don't really know this route. And so I decided to put it in PAS 4, which is my highest pedal assist level. And for the first time since I bought this bike, I throttled it and didn't pedal. It was the only way I was going to keep up. I just didn't have the gusto in me after eating. And I finally realized why these bikes have a throttle. Because until then, I really wasn't sure an e-bike really needed a throttle. But I know now. There's 2 good reasons to have a throttle. If your chain breaks, you can still throttle home. And if you go eat a big meal somewhere on your e-bike, well, you can throttle your butt back to wherever you got to go back to. Now the other bummer is when I got back, I had to load the bike back up in the back of the truck and strap it all down. And I forgot to take a picture of that for y'all. But I have a set of Rhino straps. You get 4 straps, and you know, you get the straps and the ratchets, but you also get an extra piece, which is like a 15-inch piece. It's like a loop, okay, and it's made for motorcycles and bicycles, and they worked really good. The bike was really secure. Plus I put an extra 4 points with bungee cords. The bungee cords are really to initially hold the bike pretty much so flat and level in the back of the truck while I get the strap started, and then I just leave the bungee cords on there. But all they do is really just get the bike initially stood up and level in the back of the truck. And then I built like a front wheel chute for the bike made out of wood, and I'll shoot a picture of that. Plus I'll load the bike up again and show y'all what it looked like in the back of the truck. Very secure. But anyway, on the ride with the guys, several of them were asking me about the bike, and we got to talking about, you know, e-bikes and e-bike technology. And one of the guys' unicycle was a 134 volt system, had like a 2200 amp hour battery. It was he was telling me the thing would go close to 50 miles per hour. I think he said it was called a Bugatti Master, something like that. I mean, these guys were just, you should see them go up the hills on those unicycles. They don't even, looks like they don't even slow down at all. Just right up them. Like I said, this bike did okay. You know, I popped my first wheelie on it. The guy behind me said the bike had to have been at least 2 or 3 feet off the ground, the front end. And I still don't know how I did it. I was coming up on one of those, well, I guess you'd call it a city titty in the middle of the, but it wasn't, we weren't in, it was on the trail, and I didn't really see it. It was getting dusk. And I kind of caught the edge of it, and when I caught the edge of it, I pulled the bike up here because I was trying to pull the front end up over it, but instead I hit the thing at the perfect time, and instead the front wheel come off the ground. And of course I was accelerating too, so, but it was kind of fun. I didn't think this bike had a wheelie in it, to be quite honest with you. But I guess if you hit the edge of the city titty just right, and you're accelerating and pull up, you could probably get any bike to come up around a couple feet, 2 or 3 feet. So I'm gonna take y'all over here and let y'all kind of look at this. This is one of the cooler Halloween things I've seen. Yeah. Just to let you guys know, this thing, yeah, that skull is probably, well, there's a basketball goal right over there. That skull is probably 12 foot tall, and the wolf is probably 10 to the top of the basket. The skull may actually even be taller than 12. That's pretty cool looking. And they looks like they got lights on them for lighting up at night. So I just thought y'all would think that like that and think it was pretty neat. Show it to you. So the Cowboys play the Rams this weekend, the defending Super Bowl champion. They're already talking about Dak might start. If he doesn't, we're going to find out for sure if Cooper Rush can really play or not, because that Rams defense will put some pressure on him. But hey, he's 4-0 as a Cowboy starter. Guy's been in the league for 6 years. Quite frankly and honestly, it looks like he's a capable quarterback. So, we'll see. Oh, the weather here has just been magnificent too, y'all. Oh my gosh. It was at like 56 this morning. Dry, not humid. Right now it's probably around 80 degrees as I'm out right now. I've already been out on the electric, went about 16 miles on it. I'm kind of switching up my pace a little bit since it's cooled off here. and I'm taking the electric out for a little bit shorter rides. Instead of going the 20, I'm going about 16. And then I've been taking the rad out. Like last night, I took it out about 7 and rode it till about dusk. Let me tell you, I was really impressed with those unicycles, and if I was younger, instead of 56, well, one of the guys on them was older than me. He said he was, I think he said he was 59, and his daughter was there. She rode one too. She was really good on it, and so was he. You know, the thing about those unicycles is those guys they go right down the steps. Some of them, if it's just like it was one, there was a couple places where it was a 2-step, they just would ride right off the steps. Whereas I got to go around and take the wheel path or the walking path. Although the walkers would just go down the steps. So I can't do that. I wouldn't want to try to go down steps on this bike. I don't think this bike's made for that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't try to go down steps on the XP Lite. But it was a fun trip, other than I didn't get the pedal on the way back. So, but thank God for throttles. I know now their existence is really something you need on your e-bike. Especially these heavier e-bikes. That XP Lite, I would never take that on an e-bike ride with a big e-bike group, so. I just don't think the XP Lite has enough range to run between 15 and 20 miles per hour and do a 20-mile ride, at least not at my weight. You know, 205 for that little bike it's probably certainly costing some range, definitely. I think the Electric says they test those bikes at a, you know, like a 180-pound rider on a pretty flat ground. You know, the other thing that costs you a battery is stopping and starting. You know, if especially if you're throttling back from your stops, which even if I have to make a complete stop on this bike, I do throttle it initially to get the momentum going. On the Electric, I do not do that. You know, I rarely use the electric throttle on the Electric. It's just such a light bike, that XP Lite. Although I do not think you could pedal that bike without power. You know, it's still 46 pounds. It's only a single speed. And while I can pedal it with no power downhill and on flat ground a little bit, you'd have a hard time pedaling that bike uphill with just a single speed. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this ride. I try to keep my rides not tremendously long. Try to keep them a little shorter than most other rides that y'all might be watching from other people. You know, let me know if y'all might want a longer ride. Let me know. But I think keeping the rides down to kind of where I have them for the most part has been a decent thing. My wife's the one who said that, you know, the longer rides, she has trouble hanging in if it's more than 20-25 minutes. So, I mean, if your own wife has fallen asleep during your videos, then you know you better shorten them. So, but anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. Please subscribe. I could use all the subscribers I can get. I know I'm just a new channel, but you know, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and give me a comment. And we'll see you on the next ride. You guys have a good one.